The brain is the most powerful tool humankind will ever have. For how easily it can be broken, it is remarkably difficult to be fixed. Meanwhile, as the brain is broken, it creates a story that can never be forgotten. Together we will capture these stories and share them with the world to relate and connect on real life battles. Join me as we enter into the darkest times of people's lives. I'm Jimmy Boyd, and this is Shattered Minds. Massage therapist wanted. My shattered mind starts when I was around 18, maybe 19 years old. I had a part-time job and I was going to school. This is where I met my really good friend. We became inseparable, always did everything together, and whenever each of us would be apart, we'd always get asked where the other one was. We were that close. We were more than sisters. We were like soulmates. I was going through a really rough breakup. Things weren't always the best at home. She really was my best friend that I could always count on for anything. And with everything going on at home, and the ending of my longest relationship, we were always out just having fun. We'd always talk about how we were going to make it big one day, be rich as hell, and on the side, joke around saying how we needed a sugar daddy who wouldn't want any sugar. One day she introduced me to some webcam site to get money, if you know what I mean. There'd be rooms available for anybody to pop in and join the stream, and they'd be able to donate money to you. They also had private rooms where people would pay more money for you to show more. I didn't think much of it, and we started to look through those videos that people had. We laughed at some videos, even giggled like little girls. After a while, she asked if I'd be down to make some videos with her, and that hopefully we'd be just doing it for a short period of time and gather up enough money to do whatever we wanted. This wasn't a known site, so I didn't think much of it. I thought, why the hell not? I'd be making money and nobody would have to touch me. After 2 days of being online, she told me that she found an ad on the newspaper for massage therapists, no experience needed. I knew what that meant automatically. This time, I was very hesitant towards it because for one, it would mean meeting in person, in our same town. That meant possibly seeing them in public anywhere, at any time, and with anyone. And the thought of having anyone who I didn't have that emotional attachment to or any relationship with was horrifying to me. I wasn't a virgin, but I also wasn't someone who was sleeping around with just anyone. After meeting up with the girl who gets these massage therapists, I decided to give it a go. My friend and I were talking to some of the girls that had been there for months, and they said they would make up to $500 a day. I thought, $500 a freaking day? I wouldn't even make that in a 40-hour week full-time job. They didn't have much to do to convince me after that. The girl who was in charge said it would be easy for me to get the $500 because of my appearance. I didn't think of myself as the prettiest girl. I didn't even think I had the perfect body. I was slimmer back then, but I didn't have the confidence or best self-esteem. My friend was bigger in size than I was, and was told that she wouldn't make as much. So of course, I felt some kind of way about this whole thing. Not only did I think it was fucked up telling her that because although she was a bigger girl, she was beautiful inside and out. And because she was my best friend, I didn't like how they said that because it was supposed to be both of us getting money together. However, I also had my own problems at home and I knew I needed to get more money. So I couldn't back down. My family needed me at the time. I didn't have a family of my own, but I did have my mom and siblings to provide for. My dad wasn't around at the time, and it was just my mom making money. With the lack of income not being there, sometimes it would get so bad that we didn't have enough money for food. So I felt like I had to do this. It wasn't right, but I thought about it as fast money, which we needed desperately. The obvious happened. I made money, but something about having sex with these random, old, disgusting-looking men just made me sick to my stomach. I didn't enjoy any of it, but I can remember thinking of the reason why I had to do it. There was a point where I asked one of the guys if he was married and had kids. Why I would ask that is beyond me, but he replied with a yes. My heart instantly broke. I called it quits. After that, I just didn't have the heart nor the mindset to continue. I knew my family needed my help, but this was just not the way to do it. That same night, I dropped my friend off. I cried a little, and all I can remember her saying is, it was going to be alright, but I should have gotten more money. And a bunch of other things that didn't make me feel better. Nobody picked her that day, so she didn't get paid at all. I felt bad. And yes, I was stupid. Because I gave her some of the money I made because we were supposed to do this together. I went home shortly after. I remember I couldn't wait to get in the shower, and once I was in, I found myself scrubbing every inch of my body. So hard that it hurt, and eventually I fell to the floor and cried my eyes out. I felt so disgusted. I felt alone, ashamed, dirty. I felt like everyone knew what I had just done. I felt like a disgrace, especially since my mom had raised me better than this. This wasn't me, is what I kept telling myself. I didn't go back, obviously, and I never really told anyone either. I was too ashamed and embarrassed, and that friend was no longer a friend shortly after. This shattered me to the point that eventually when I did get into a new relationship, I didn't want to get intimate. And the first time I did after that experience, I cried. I felt like I was doing something against my will. I clearly wasn't ready to be intimate with anyone. And I know now that I should have voiced that out, but I couldn't at the time. As dumb as it sounds, I didn't know how, and although it wasn't anybody's fault but my own for allowing me to get in that situation, I blamed others for things when they didn't even have anything to do with whatever was going on in my mind. If you are someone who is even thinking about doing something like this, please don't. It's not worth it. It's not worth your integrity or self-respect. It's not worth having a fucked up mind for who knows how long. You think you won't go through it because you're a strong-minded person, but believe me, it's not as easy as it seems. I've made peace with the decision I made at such a young age. It doesn't define who I am now. Unfortunately, it will always be an ugly experience, and it will always be a bad memory. This is the end of story. Massage therapist wanted. I would like to tell everyone who is listening to this video, anyone can say no to having sex. It is important to give consent when getting intimate. If things do not feel right, do not do it. Also, I would like to say that you are beautiful, man or woman. Your life and self-dignity deserves more. You deserve to treat yourself right. And finally, there are millions of ways to make money. I know desperation can be tough to deal with, but you are strong and smart. Smart enough to find a new and better way of earning your income. We are all capable of achieving the most out of our lives, so keep your head up and never give up. Thank you for watching.